Hey, it's Risa G coming in from her cluttered kitchen. And it's Tip Tuesday once again. And this week I'm talking about something that some people think is a unitasker, and so they don't want to use them. But they really have about 2 or 3 other uses. And at this point, these days, a lot of people have these in their kitchen, and they only use it for one thing. For baking cupcakes or muffins. And I'm going to show you a couple of other things, or tell you about at least one, of another use for these silicone baking cups. Okay, so this video idea came to me the other day, or was it yesterday or the day before, when I made wonton meatballs, which I'll be making for you guys one of these days. Tested it out, was it yesterday or the day before? And they were pretty good. So I'll probably be making them again, and I'll make them for you in the on video. But all right, the recipe for wonton meatballs said that you needed to use one of these, which is a baby food container for the Instant Pot, or I guess, and somehow somebody came up with the idea to use it for sous vide egg bites, copycat version for the Instant Pot. Whoever came up with that idea was a genius. But I've also used it for making cheesecake, like little mini cheesecakes in the Instant Pot, and it works well for that too. But what if you don't have one of these? Okay, they called it a baby food container. Yes, you could use wide mouth half pint jars. That probably would work well. But if you have a set of these silicone muffin cups, then you can do the same thing. And I'll show you basically how I would set it up to do it. Okay, obviously if you have one of, every Instant Pot comes with one of these trivets, and it says to put this in the bottom, fill it with a little bit of water, put enough of the meatball mixture into each one, but it only makes 7, right? And then cover it with a piece of foil or a piece of parchment paper, and put it on the trivet and stick it in, But what if you don't have one of these? Well, you've got these, then you've got a great alternative. What you do is you fill each one with enough of the meatball mixture. And you can do this with regular meatballs too. I've done it with regular meatballs. And you can use it, and you can do this in the air fryer too if you have an air fryer oven. You just put several of these on one of the trays and just stick it in. Now you can do that. Of course, then you have to put you have to cut out a piece of parchment paper that would fit the circular shape of the trivet. Stick it on top. And then if you have another one of these, if you have several Instant Pots, obviously you have several different kinds of trivets. Okay? And then what you do is you just balance it on top. Okay? Fill up a few more. And then put a piece of foil, not parchment, because foil won't come off, all right, as easily as as parchment would. All right, just pile, if you want to do like 2 levels, or you could just do it like this to keep the foil or the parchment paper down, right, and then just stick it in, obviously. Okay, that's one great idea, to use the silicone molds. And the other one I show you over here, which is to portion control little kids' snacks, especially when they have lots of candy left over from Halloween. Just open up one little packet of those M&Ms. It fits right into one of these, okay? Or let's say, goldfish crackers, say that there's like 50 in a serving size or whatever, but let's say you don't want your kids eating 50 of them. About 20 of them fit in one of these little cups. Obviously, here's M&Ms, right? And let's say also you're on a diet too. Sometimes you're on a diet. You can fit a few nuts in there. It's probably about a 1/4 cup, which is the serving size, right? I'd say it's about a 1/4 cup or close to it. So you can fill a couple of them, let's say you want to treat yourself, but you don't want to go overboard. You're not going to sit with a whole jar of M&Ms. You can fill up one of these most of the way up with your candy, and then also have one with fruit. And that way you're not feeling totally guilty that you ate candy on a diet. I'm not saying you should eat candy on a diet, but you know that you do sometimes, okay? So it's just a great way of portion sizing snacks, whether they're healthy, especially with nuts, which, you know, you can sit with a bag of nuts and just eat the whole thing in one shot. Same thing with goldfish crackers. You give a bag to a kid, they're going to eat the whole bag. They think it's one serving, right? Yeah, like my son used to. And then I had to start hiding the bag and portioning out a very small amount because it said the serving size is 50 pieces. Who's going to sit and count out 50 pieces? Nobody. So I just filled up like a small thing and gave it to him. Okay, well, it's the same thing with this. You can fill them up with assorted different kinds of snacks. Let's say you have kids coming, you know, you have kids coming over, play date, you know. You can just set up a bunch of these with different kinds of snacks, and they can pick what they want. Okay, so yes, you can use them to bake in, but you can also use them to portion size, whether for diet or for children, snacks. And you can make Instant Pot or air fryer meatballs in them very easily. I would have shown you that, but I froze the extra meatballs. But it does, it fills right up to the top there, and then you have the same shape. Yeah, I mean, you still have a roundish piece, so it's still a meatball. Okay? I hope you found that helpful. And of course, if you try it, let me know in the comments below. I will link a set of these in the notes if you do not have any. You should. Even if you don't bake, you really should have a set of these. They're very handy to have on. They're great to have on hand. And I will, of course, link the egg bite holder if you don't have one of those, because just because you don't make baby food doesn't mean you can't use it. And of course, if you like this video, press like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you really should, and press that little bell and come back again soon to Teresa's Cluttered Kitchen. Bye.